Here's your quick cut from the Adam Dorey, Chad Reynolds podcast for 6 Pods a Sick Week.
That happens.
All right, sorry, Mike. We're taking over.
Hey,
Go.
No, hey, dude, that's fine. So I want to ask you what race week, Rocky Mountain Race Week stuff has always been, if you went before, you get early registration. What do you guys think about the fastest 100 being the only early registration? How do you think that'll affect Sick Week 2023?
Oh, I think it's a great idea. I think I think it's one of the cool ideas because it's the same thing. It's you got to be there to be in the fast 100. So so it's just putting a number on it and letting the fast 100 go.
And it's just different. Each one of these things is going to have their own sort of fingerprint, and that's going to be the Sick Week thing. The Rocky Mountain Race Week thing is always going to be if you did it last year, you've got a chance this year. And Drag Week's always going to be, if you won the class, you get a chance to come back and defend your title. And it's just cool. Each one is going to have their own sort of feel. And I love it. I think the top 100 is amazing.
I think it definitely drives, like what his goal is to be the fastest street cars there. And then what do you guys think that average is going to be? What do you think that number is going to be? That's like the 100th car. You think it's like
the 100th car?
God, who knows? No idea. It'll probably be.
I'd guess it'll be something in the 9-second range.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Kind of low 9s, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insanity. Think about that. Yeah. There's collectively we're thinking 9-second range is what the top 100 cars is going to be. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, that's totally off the top of my head, assuming that the classes have gotten good entries per class for the big classes, because I haven't even looked at the entry list.
I don't know if they've put it out, really, to be honest.
I know it, but people were like, going on that. There was one Facebook group where people were like, I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I would say it's possible for it to be in the 9s, which is, like you said, impressive.
That's fast. I mean, for 100 cars, I'm interested is who's going to be the fastest. And, you got Tom, you've got probably outside looking in, you've got, Matt Frost.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matt is one of those that, he's so nervous right now because the car has been down for so long. They haven't had any testing time.
Nothing. Nothing. I don't even know if he's made a quarter-mile pass with the SMX in that car.
Wow. I don't know if he has either. And he told me the other day, he says, look, he goes, I'm nervous because the car's untested and all those things. He goes, but I'm not going to do anything stupid. He goes, hell, I'm rusty. He says, and
that whole thing is new. They switched it over to Fuel Tech from MS3 Pro. But I mean, Tom Bailey, obviously, I mean, dude, the guy's the only guy that's done 5s in this kind of thing. So obviously he's going to be kind of near the top. The Steve Morris wagon, I saw it making some shakedown passes at Bradenton. What's cool is they had that kind of street, whatever the hell they had going on deal for the last week. So there's a bunch of people out there right now testing.
Yeah. What did it run? Did you see?
I think it was like a shutdown pass, but it sounds wicked. Did like a 60-foot and let off the thing.
I mean, you got to remember that thing is, it's a full-size B-body station wagon. Like, it doesn't matter what he's done to it since I last saw it run. It's still not going to be light or right. I mean, it's sort of okay aero-wise, actually.
Yeah.
When I saw it, it was on the first drag week, and it never made a pass where the back window didn't open, ever.
Wow.
It literally, every run, the back window went thook and flew up.
That's kind of like Joe Barry. When he's on a good pass, the thing loses all the trim.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly it. He's like, that's why he's got Dan Chuck on speed dial,
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. And somebody just posted in Tom McGilton. Of course, dude, McGilton is the guy that you got to watch,
McGilton's car is wicked, but McGilton's car weighs like 4,300 pounds.
Oh, yeah. His is honestly, the truth of the matter is, when Doug was running his orange Camaro, it was him and Tom were the two most legitimate
actual street cars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Ever. No question. 100%. Right now. I mean, Doug obviously sold that car and isn't driving that one anymore. McGilton's car is legit the most street car. I mean, because if you haven't been up to that car and actually looked, every single factory button and switch and everything does the factory thing, except one thing. The button on the steering wheel that is the original cruise control button now turns the gear vendors on and off. That's the only thing that doesn't operate, is that when you open the doors on that car, the windows go and do the little bit. When you shut the doors, the windows go and pop up.
That's
it
crazy.
Has all of it works. The air conditioning, the everything. Okay, it is the power windows
except cruise, right?
Yeah,
that's the only thing that it doesn't have.
Yeah, but it's satellite radio, the backup
camera.
Yeah, all that bullshit does everything. The other thing about those cars are huge. Okay, you know, my '69 Camaro was way smaller than that thing. Okay, to the point that the rear wheel wells in those cars are so big that those are unmodified in that car. Yes, it's tubbed on the inside, but the outer wheel arch
it's not stretched.
Correct. Not at all. That is a 33-inch tall tire, fits right in that son of a bitch.
Dirty Panda.
No,
it's like a factory pro mod.
I know. It's crazy. So yeah.
But no, it's going to be so cool, man. All the stuff coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
That's going to be out for this thing is going to be freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of international folks are coming in, and I know we have a few international people on Race Week. You know, the only thing I've ever done is 2.0, and so with all those folks coming, I think it's going to be awesome to see just how just everything. It's going to be like all these huge events kind of rolled into one, and it's wintertime, so like all these guys that are in the cold weather, they're coming down. They're going to be wearing shorts and flip flops, and we're all going to be in hoodies, or I am anyways. I'm in the 50s.
I won't be.
I always wear a hoodie and shorts and flip flops. That's my standard. So whatever. I'm not changing nothing.
That's awesome.
So Kevin Carroll talking about the 6-second Volvo. Yes, I can't wait. Yeah, and we cannot forget the Swedes either. Right. The Swedes are coming with Biggin, and that car has been tested a bunch this last year. Okay,
which car are they bringing?
The C4 Corvette.
Yeah, nice. And it makes 700 more horsepower than when it ran like a 670.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy.
It lives at Biggin's shop now.
Yep.
Well, it lives at Customs by Biggin and HED. It's at one or the other at any given day. So they're literally, well, they're probably an eighth of a mile away from each other, but they're on the same driveway.
That's perfect.
Yeah, well, it's gravel, but yes. So that car is legit. Obviously, Biggin, is Biggin. I mean, come on.
Yep.
And so you know how that's going to be. Dirty Panda talking about Royce Payton. Royce Payton definitely one to watch. That car is fast. It also is just an absolute pain in the ass. The amount of work that goes into doing that thing, you gotta commend them for what they do to make it street.
For people that don't understand, I dropped a 60-second spotlight just literally an hour and a half ago about that car because they change blowers and hats to drive on the street and race with. So they pull into the track, change it completely over from street driving to racetrack mode, and that includes the blower. I mean, it's insanity.
Well, and that car has been on Race Week a bunch of times, and like the first time it only made it, I think, one track, maybe two. Yep. Yeah. And then like the next year it made it one more. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not bagging on him. I'm saying like that thing it's earned its like progression by trial by fire.
He'll tell you that too. He'll tell hey dude, we made it a day every year until we got this thing figured out and finally figured the thing out, and it was a combination of you can't cheap out on any parts on that thing ever.
No,
I mean,
no, hell no.
It's got all the Crowler everything.
Yeah.
And he's got all the spares for the Crowler everything.
One thing that's entertaining about that combo too, and I don't know if this makes them, just sadistic or what, but there are, and I'm going to use this term, but there are much better ways to do that. Okay. To run the
Hell-
blower car.
Hell yeah.
Okay. When I say that, they're much easier ways, right? Like, so, the wagon that Aiden's driving right now, I mean, when it had the blower combo in it, it had a throttle body going into
on the
blower
burst panel.
intake. Yeah. Right. Which honestly is funny because I've literally talked about this probably 10 years ago on Drag Week. I would say about 10 years ago said, why doesn't somebody just do this? Just lock the blower in place, take the belt off of it, and put a throttle body in it. And Freiberger and I talked about it back then, and a bunch of people said it wouldn't work. And Steve Brule said, well, of course it'll work. And obviously it does. And that, it's not like they couldn't just change over to that. In fact, I bet I could make that work in a day, right?
Yeah.
Which would be way less work, but it's not quite as cool.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, so,
well, and like that car's all steel, that's the other side of it too. So, I'm trying to do all this research on these things, for 60 seconds, it's really, you got to have a ton of stuff, right? And I'm like, I mean, dude, I'll take carbon fiber front end, carbon fiber doors, and suddenly you're, I mean, what would that say? 300 or 400 pounds at least, maybe more.
Yeah.
You should feel the hood on that car. That hood, even though it's fiberglass, is the heaviest hood I've ever felt in my entire life. It's insane. When he's got it off, run by there and ask him, dude, can I feel this? And he'll let you pick it up, and it's heavy. It's
probably it's not the lightweight race fiberglass hood. It's like it's the 1980s. Tawny Katane dances on it in a Whitesnake video.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Which is way radder, by the way.
Right. It may save weight over the steel one, but not by a ton.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, has Alex Taylor been sixes yet? In the 55?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But honestly, I haven't talked to her in the last week, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think that car, the fastest that car has run was on race week.
Yeah.
And I think it was
get him.
Go get him.
Yeah.
I think its fastest is like 7:30.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So I mean, I think it'd be cool if because I think she's going to show up and they're going to go for it. So
that car is badass too. It's super rad, and I mean, you also have to remember that the combo in that car is it's
out of the Nova.
I mean, no doubt, but it's from the Nova. It was never.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this was let's take a known engine combo that we know works. So we're not figuring that out at the same time as we're figuring out a whole new car, right? Yeah. Which was smart. But there is a new combo that is going to get put together for that thing that is more, same thing. I mean, if you will, big, Chevrolet, but going to be a bigger and just nastier version, if you will.
Yeah.
Yep.
With that said, my understanding is that Dennis is also looking at the Nova to make it even nastier now too. So,
well, yeah, I mean, you can't let the kid outrun you. I mean,
for a while, anyways, you can't.
Right.
At some point, she's gonna be like, "Bye, Dad."
Yeah,
yeah, that's cool. It's gonna be so awesome just to hang out with so many fast. Like what's a fast car on race week? I mean, you're talking like low sevens, high sixes.
Low sevens is a really fast car on race week, and
so we're like,
mid sixes is kind of a drag week.
Mm-hmm.
Fast car. I mean, obviously Tom's gone in the fives, but that's maybe
nobody's
the best.
Averaged anywhere near that.
Right. Yeah. That's maybe the best thing with this race is that race week people are kind of race week people, and drag week people are kind of drag week people, which is cool. They each have their kind of fun, but this is melding everything. This is all the baddest drag week cars. This is all the baddest race week cars. And we're gonna throw them all together, and we're gonna do it in Florida, and we're doing it in a couple of days, guys.
I mean, like,
and this one's
please,
easier.
God, don't let the snow happen like it's supposed to.
This one's easier in a lot of ways because it's shorter and all those things, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which I have to. My opinion is that driving 100 miles versus 500 miles doesn't prove yours as a street car more than the other in the grand scheme of things. It's not that.
And the first timers,
but it still is. I mean, if you drove 400 miles in a day, it's a much bigger deal on your car than driving 100. I mean, it just is, right?
Right.
Because one of the things that people don't understand, and I legitimately just had this conversation with the guys at DEI this last week. You can get in your car and drive it down the road to the burger joint and then eat a burger and drive it back home. No problem. It could be a top fuel car. Doesn't matter. Right. If you drive for 30 minutes in town with your car, okay, different set of things, right, that might need attention.
Yep. Right.
You drive for an hour, a little more things need attention.
Yeah.
You drive for multiple hours at 60 or 70 miles an hour on the freeway, and all the shit you thought was far enough away from all the hot stuff and is melted now is because that heat cumulatively is just soaking into everything.
Yes.
So that does matter. I mean, that is a difference, you know.
To see the full episode, you can find it in the link early on in this or in the description. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Tons more of these quick cuts coming from this interview.